each other in the same club and train together, and so they come to a major tournament and suddenly they have to communicate, they have to determine who's the leader. It's a little different, isn't it?
It is. It is. Also add to the equation, these kids are on international stage. They're on the championship court. They're being streamed around the world. See how these 12-year-olds can adapt.
And in a semifinal or final or something like that, there's also the mental aspect of this isn't a round robin anymore. It does matter if I lose because now I'm out of the tournament. And so there's a little bit more pressure at stake. There's a little bit more on the line for these representing their country. And I just want to talk a little bit about the team event because that's a different dynamic as well here at the Junior World Championships.
Yes, everybody's playing for points. There's the World Cup champion. There's the Esprit champion.
Can you explain the difference?
They're all World Cup athletes who qualify for their national team. Mm-hmm. Yet the IRF years ago decided in the 18 and 16 division they would call that, or excuse me, 18, 16, and 14 they would call that World Cup. The Esprit Cup is the 12 and 10-year-old. Years ago we also had the 8-year-old and 6-year-old multi-mats. No longer. There is an opportunity for those that don't qualify for their national team to play in what we call the Challenger Division. So we have a small division in this arena this week, and that's fortunate because based on 7 courts and the amount of court time we have, it would be very difficult if we had a larger draw.
So that's for players who don't necessarily finish in the top 2 in their national championship. They want to come and get this international experience and gain a taste of what it's like to compete on this stage.
Correct. So we have Mexico playing Bolivia?
No, the USA.
USA. Mexico, USA in the doubles. And
so
we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, the U.S., Broussard and Sutherland. And for the Mexicans, we've got Picard and Renteria. And both of those two players have been in fine form. Picard lost yesterday, we saw. And that's one of his first losses here at juniors. And even though we're talking about juniors who may be only 12, 13 years old, they've been playing for a very long time at the juniors.
Case in point, he is the current world champion. Case in point, Gabriela Martinez, for whom Guatemala invested a lot of time, energy, and expense. Mm-hmm. They put her on this stage at age 12, and here we are. She still has one more year, and she's likely to be world champ again.
The silver medalist at the World Championships last year. Defending her title, she won it at 16s, but she's moved up to 18s this year, still in the competition. And of course, was representing Guatemala at the Adult World Championship, as you mentioned, at 12. On the court, though, we have Mexico and the United States. Boys 12 doubles. So 12, 13-year-olds, possibly 14, depending when they are born. After January 1st, they can turn 14. And currently, the score is 0 serving 1. So I think on paper, Gary, the Mexicans are the favorite. Picard is the defending champ. He did lose yesterday. But Renteria is left-handed. It's a beautiful swing. So I look forward to seeing him compete on the big stage.
We'll see if the U.S. players start jamming that ball into that sidewall glass, making it difficult for Luis over on the left side. 2-1 in game 1.
So these players play each other a lot, obviously the same ages, so they see each other each year. They do spend a lot of time off the court playing with each other and enjoying each other's company, but earlier in this tournament, we saw Prasad, he's over on the left for the U.S., play Picard over on the right. Prasad was up 8-1 in the tiebreaker, and Picard came back to win it 11-10. It was truly a remarkable match. Standing room only on that crowd.
That's fascinating to see how these athletes change their mindset, because in the singles they're playing against each other, they're competitive, oftentimes they're from the same hometown, and then they put them together as a doubles team to complement each other.
Right, I just beat you in the national championships, now let's play together
exactly,
as teammates.
Exactly. That's where good coaching staff comes into play.
There's a little fist pump from Prasad on the left side. 3 serving 1.
U.S. trying to catch up, side out, hand out. Hand out.
So in doubles, after the first server at each game, both players get an opportunity to score points for their team. Good serve. He can put it down, and he can. Gary, it's pretty impressive to see these very young teenagers, 12, 13-year-olds, playing with such skill.
Absolutely. You can see what they're doing. They're picking on the right side player, Sutherland. Smooth backhand winner by Renteria. I had the privilege of reffing these 2 young players a couple times this week. Their skill set is, as you say, Tim, very, very high.
And intelligent decision there from the left-sided Mexican. Yes, Renteria is coached by Miguel Gardea, who also coaches professional player Alex Cardona, and he's kind of called the mini Cardona.
Yeah.
And they have similar styles and just very calm on the court. Hit very smooth, and it's fun to see a coach who's built a professional player and is now doing the same thing with a younger junior.
And Miguel is a professional coach and instructor as well, has developed a legacy in the Juarez, El Paso area.
So Mexico take a 6-3 lead. We'll see if the U.S. take a timeout if they can't get a side out here. Just clean hitting from both sides right now. U.S. look a little frustrated. Prasad looks to the coaches.
Well, they've pulled him out of the return of serve business. Sutherland is the one returning all the serves, both from the left side and the right. He needs to up the game a little bit here, keep them involved. That's not going to help.
So we do have a timeout from the U.S. team. That's the first. They have potentially 2. Just a reminder, we have more streaming coming today. We hope you stay with us for all of that. We've had some terrific matchups this morning. Maybe the pick of them is Fernandez from Mexico winning 11-10 in the tiebreaker against the younger Garcia from Bolivia. What a great example of the potential that is exhibited here at the Junior World Championships. Gary, for those who've never been to a Junior World Championship, or maybe ever never seen one, live stream like we are here, tell us a little bit about the history of the tournament and how people can participate.
Well, the history is that the IRF Junior World started as the Orange Bowl Festival, racquetball being one of the sports, in Miami in the late 80s. Here we are, year 29. Since then, it's been held in Miami and Orlando in Florida. It's been held in Tempe, Arizona. It's been held in 2 Southern California cities, Fountain Valley and Los Angeles, and now in Minnesota. We'll come back to that, Tim. So Picard serving. Again, they go to Sutherland.
Doesn't stop the momentum. 9-3 in favor of Mexico.
Another skip. Prasad seems frustrated because he hasn't hit many shots. We talked about body language yesterday.
And look at Prasad and how he's holding his racket down by his legs. He's not ready to receive. Very casual looking.
Just having come out from a timeout, nothing's changed.
You see him just standing there. He needs to get ready for this. And just clean hitting from the Mexicans and the mistakes from the Americans. 12-3 now. We have seen momentum shifts. That's why we have tiebreakers. The U.S. really needs to get into this and get some points and just kind of gain some momentum. And even if they don't win that first game, give them a little bit of confidence going into game 2.
That's correct. Earlier, we had the Costa Rican girl losing 15-0 in game 1 and came back and won the match. So you indicated that yesterday, Tim. Never out of it. Things can change radically right now. Unfortunate.
So game point,
Sutherland.
Game point number 1, 14-3. U.S. used their second timeout.
Maybe they ought to change sides.
An alternative also is the I formation. Can you explain what I mean by that?
Yeah, personally, I don't like it, but it's been used a lot. In fact, Team Chile's used it before, and Guatemala. Well, a number of teams have used it. It's basically telling people, hey, we have a weak link here. So Colombia used it this time with Cubillos and Felipe. But hey, if something's not working, let's change.
So essentially, what you're saying is the stronger person goes in front of the weaker person, and therefore returns the serve rather than allowing the weaker person to actually get those serves. Because so it looks like they're switching sides, and
there you go.
We're seeing a change.
Again, something needs to be changed.
It's a good
idea.
idea.
Worst thing that happens is things stay the same, but you have to try it. Now they go to the left side to Sutherland. Obviously, they think he's the weak link. Prasad needs to take over somehow. Good shot. There we go.
So a good
In Espanol se dice éxito. We just had some success, Tim.
And that's the value of coaching, to be able to change something when it's not working.
If nothing more, it lets the Mexican team know, whoa, they made an adjustment here. So what do we do? Do we need to adjust?
We hope you're enjoying this feed. Do us a favor and share it on your pages and your personal pages. We appreciate it. We started a new feed, so if you have already shared this morning, please do so again so that we can share the sport with everyone around the world. Great pickup, Sutherland. Oh, but it hits his foot.
I detected more animation from Sutherland after they switched.
Yeah, seems a little more confident on that side. We're going to take a break. The U.S. team are going to take a break and see if they can continue a little bit of momentum at the first game, but ultimately Mexico win the first 15-3. We'll be right back with you.
This is Gary along with Tim and Pablo. We're going to continue the theme of the history of this event. Late 80s, the Orange Bowl went from Miami to Orlando, moved to California, Fountain Valley, and Los Angeles, moved to Tempe, Arizona, interspersed with stops in the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, as well as Bolivia, Cochabamba, and Sucre. And here we are in Minneapolis. 29th IRF Junior World Racquetball Championships. 13 countries this year, about 200 players. And this is day 6 of 7. Finals will be held tomorrow, after which we will have the premiación, the awards ceremony. The 3 favorites are Mexico, USA, and Bolivia. We'll see how the points pan out.
Mexico are the defending champions, but the U.S. team have a little momentum. You see a little bit of fist pumping, a little bit of animation from them, and they've gotten the first 2 points, and this is exactly what they needed to get back in this match. You can see that they switched sides, and it seems to be working a little better than game number 1.
Sutherland, as we said, more animated. Picard. Renteria.
Nice hands from Sutherland on the right side. Another point for the U.S. Great down the line shot from the Mexican. Good rally from these 4 players. This is important to win this one. Oh, beautiful soft hands on the backhand. Renteria.
Don't count anybody out, folks. Last night, the Irish team gave the Mexicans all they could handle. I believe the score was 12-13. I ref that match. It was a great match. Nice, nice. Sutherland pumps his fist.
They need this, the Americans. A little bit of animation, get some confidence, believe that they belong on this court. Second serve.
Now they're going to Prasad on the right. Sutherland says, hey, I can play with you guys.
A skip from Picard, tried to push it to the front wall. Side out, no points for Mexico, 3-0. Wow.
Backhand reverse by Sutherland. He needed a tune-up game. Look how the body language has changed.
And make that 5. Oh. Accidental collision there. Apology from Sutherland. Mexico suddenly looking back to their coaches. What just happened? What do we do here? Well, you give it to the left-sided Renteria. He's got soft hands, and he puts one down, half out.
Menilanda, Renteria.
Cardona,
I'm sorry. Well, if he's a Menilanda, he's okay as well.
That's true.
Alejandro Cardona.
Landa, the current Pan Am champion in singles and doubles for Mexico, will be back in Chile next year for those Pan Ams, which are held every year.
Temuco.
So 0-6. Quite a reversal from game 1.
Absolutamente.
You can see Sutherland on the left side, Prasad on the right.
Just remember, Tim, it's a 2-day trip to Temuco from the States. Temuco has the same latitude as Auckland, New Zealand. It's that far south.
Prasad.
Nice
shot. Kept body low, drove through it. Side out, 6-1. High lob Z. A good one.
Great reverse, overhead reverse, put away by Renteria.
So, Gary, when you look at Team Mexico, both are playing with their forehands, and so one of the options that the U.S. might use is a jam serve.
They haven't used it yet.
jam serve, the idea being you hit the sidewall so that the ball bounces into the middle.
Or push a half lob into the middle. Either or. They haven't used either of them. We'll see if they decide to do that. Yet they have.
Well, we had an appeal. We have 2 line judges. We have an appeal system. Players are allowed 3 appeals per game that are incorrect. If they're correct, like if the players are correct, then they keep the appeal. Here we see 7-1 for the Americans. They lost the first 15-3. They made the adjustment at the end of game 1 by switching sides, and it seems to have really affected the Mexicans and the Americans because suddenly the Americans have a little bit more confidence and momentum.
7-1.
Timeout on the court. It's taken by Mexico. We're here in LA Fitness, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Lifetime Fitness in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have 7 courts. This is court number 1, a show court. And we have over to our left a huge open area for basketball, pickleball, table tennis, and it's great to see so many of the 200 players here mixing it up in different sports and having a good time off the court, even though they're so competitive on it.
Incredible integration of cultures. I think the most valuable players certainly are from Ireland and Korea, Tim.
They've traveled so far to be here, and we appreciate their attendance. World Juniors are held every year. Next year, it will be the 2nd to the 10th of November, and we'll learn where those will be held, probably at the Pan Am Championships in the spring.
Yeah, our producer just told us not to forget Team India West. Most of them from California.
So Mexico took their timeout. They've won a couple of points. They're down 3-7. Make that 4-7. Suddenly they seem to have found a serve that works.
And going with the Z to the left side. Sutherland stays on the left side. After they made, 38-foot backhand rollout left side.
A quick look at the tablet up to the left. Check the score. One of the things we have here in the IRF are tablets that are controlled by our official, and that's transmitted to a TV screen so that all the fans in attendance can see who's playing, what division, what the score is, etc. Really makes it great for those who are currently watching in the stands. Pass down the right side from Picard, 5 serving 7. It was 1-7. Well, this is an appeal system,
okay,
so they will appeal. Let's take a look at our line judges. One agrees, one disagrees, so the call stands. The only time it can be turned over is if both line judges disagree with our head official.
That's a used appeal, Tim, so they're down to 2.
But worth an appeal.
Absolutely. Nobody home in the middle.
Yeah, Prasad got stuck on the right. Looks like the U.S. are going to take a timeout. Gary, we've seen some shifts in momentum. The U.S. came in, switched sides, raced to a 7-1 lead. Mexico took a timeout, and now we see again a momentum. And this happens a lot more in doubles than singles.
Absolutely. It can be a subtle change. In this case, they came up with the Z to the left side, to Sutherland's side, and it's produced opportunities for them. They were down 1-7, now it's 7-7. So the U.S. takes timeout. Timeouts are 1 minute in length, folks. Each team or player in singles is entitled to 2 per game.
Our official does have a timer on his tablet to keep an idea of when they need to be back in the court, and it really helps to keep play on time, make sure everybody starts on time, even warm-ups and time between games. And so that's one of the transitions we've made over the last couple of years.
Yeah, we're running 12 to 15 court hours per day, and a couple minutes per that court hour can cause delays at the end of the day. So kudos to the tournament desk here, Tim.
Good serve from Picard. Beautiful hands, Renteria. It was, you hit it, now I hit it on the front court. Finally,
yeah, they were volleying
Renteria
at the net.
Second serve.
High Z lob to Prasad. Picard. Nobody home for Mexico.
So the U.S. now with a chance, they're down 7-8.
Critical inning. Critical.
Wow.
Great gets.
Picard puts it down. Well, that was terrific entertainment. Great effort from both teams in that rally. Oh, good pickup from his partner, Prasad. The ceiling. And again. On a skip. Unfortunate for Sutherland, he was there.
Said this was a critical inning, Tim. They didn't score, so they find themselves with a 1-point deficit. Make that 2. Body language has changed again. Momentum shift.
So Prasad will appeal.
Communication lapse there.
They don't appeal, I think, on the advice of their coaches. Score wasn't called, so we'll just replay that.
He was looking so good. Now he's off balance again.
Wide angle pass from Picard, smart shot. One of the things that I've really been impressed with from the Mexican pair is how few errors they've made. They haven't skipped the ball hardly at all.
Now they switch again. It's kind of like the tale of two cities here with Sutherland. Game 1, where was he? End of game 1, they shifted. He took over, a lot of animation. And now he's back to where he was in game 1, unfortunately.
That'll be a replay. Terrific hustle from Sutherland to get there. Earns his team a replay. Still 7-12. That time Sutherland gets one, a little fist pump. I like the animation. He seems to play better when he's animated. Point for the U.S. This is what they need. Now
there
the
you
serve
go.
Comes down the middle. A skip from Prasad in the back. The skip count is much higher on the American side. If they can play clean, this will be much closer than it currently is. Nice hands.
Right side pinch winner.
Another point or two, and Mexico will take a timeout, I suspect. You saw the skip. It was close. Couple inches too low. Side out, 12-9. 3 points away from this match.
Oh, nice snap forehand winner by Picard. Just what the doctor ordered. 2 points for match. Nice shot.
Very good. Gary, it's interesting because Prasad is the singles player, the one who pushed Picard all the way in a tiebreaker, and yet it's Sutherland who seems to be the one taking the majority of shots.
Well, at least initially, Mexico was pumping those balls to him. Both players were hitting right side when in game one when Sutherland was on the right, and it pulled Picard out of his game.
Wow.
He called the ball down,
called.
yeah.
But what a shot.
Match point
Picard.
number 1. Team Mexico. Sutherland. And there's Renteria with the winning shot.
So Mexico win this match 15-3, 15-9. They were comfortable in game 1, but the U.S. took a 7-1 lead in game 2. Timeout for Team Mexico brought them back into it, and bit by bit they gradually pulled away to take this match